formally open our program, let us have first the opening prayer to ask the guidance and blessings of our Almighty God and honor our beloved country through the singing of the national anthem, Lupang Hinirang, then be followed by the FDSA hymn.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to meet together. Please help us to come together to make this institution reflect your kingdom. Breathe life into our ideas and decisions. Help us build a team that has love and respect at its heart. Give us the strength to continue working for your kingdom in this time of pandemic. Lord, come give us the inspiration to be the best we can be. May we be a shining example of your goodness and truth within, wherever we are. Inspire our thoughts, discussions, and ideas, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Sa panlulubi, di mo masisisi
A pleasant day to everyone and to our FDSE family out there and to all our viewers and of course my co-host from Cebu, FDSE Cebu. Good day to you, sir.
Well, good morning, everyone, and same to you, sir. So, thank you, and as well as to all viewers. We are hoping that you are doing well, as healthy despite of the current pandemic.
Again, before we formally start our unconventional event, as a facilitators for this second day webinar, allow us to introduce ourselves first. I am Sir Dexter UC, an aircraft maintenance technician, currently affiliated as a college instructor here at FDSE Pampanga. And joining me today is Mr. Ariel.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, I am Mr. Ariel Tabacoto from FDSA Cebu. So, your host for today's event. So, in behalf of FDSA family, we will welcome you all to FDSA 2 Days Career Webinar Series with the theme Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of Pandemic.
Yes, so we are now on the second day of our career webinar. So, nung isang araw, di ba, meron tayong dalawang speaker. So, andun si
Yes.
Ma'am Vern, tsaka si Cap AJ Malik. So, we have pilot and cabin crew, no? So, they give talk about their jobs, no? Being a cabin crew and being a pilot. So, for today, we are now down to our last career webinar. So, our last speaker, no? So eto this is my kumbaga this is my course, no? This is yung pagiging aircraft mechanic. So I think sir we can now start formally start by introducing our last speaker, Sir Ariel.
Okay, sir. Okay, so it is my honor to introduce to you our guest speaker today. So he graduated an associate in aircraft maintenance technology year 2003 at Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics Cebu campus. He attended different trainings that includes Boeing 787 composite repair for technician course, Boeing 787 repair design application using the Boeing SRM course, aircraft sheet metal specialist skills training course, safety awareness training course, basic aircraft training course, corrosion prevention and control training course, high lock and high lock fastener familiarization training course. And also he handled different aircrafts like Boeing 787-800 and 900 series, Boeing 747-200 and 400, Boeing 737-300, DC-8, MD-11, Airbus 320, Boeing 767-200 and 300, Boeing 757-200, DC-9, MD-80, Airbus 300-600, and C-17. And currently working as aircraft structure mechanic in Boeing San Antonio, Texas. So let us welcome our guest speaker for today, Mr. Earl Epifani Ribosora. Sir, you may take the floor.
Hi, good evening, good morning. I'm Earl Rebasura and the structure mechanic currently working at Boeing's San Antonio branch. And how's everyone going on? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Actually,
Yes,
we
sir.
are
Yes, sir.
live on Facebook with 100 of viewers out there. So later, sir, we can have a Q&A segment. So our students can ask you some questions, aircraft mechanic related questions that you can answer later.
Okay.
So, students and viewers, reserve your questions later because we will going to ask them to Mr. Earl Rebostura. Okay, sir. Proceed, sir.
So, at the outset, may I quote the saying that says, gratitude is the sweetest flower that can ever bloom inside the human heart. It has been almost 2 decades, or to be exact, 18 years, way back in 2003, since I graduated from this most venerable institution, my beloved Flight Dynamics School of Aeronautics. My dear friends, we need to know the real status quo of our life. Since we tend to do well at the very beginning of any endeavor, then start to deteriorate as we go along until we end up so badly. As what we know, time seems so slow for those who wait, fast for those who are scared, long for those who are sad, and fast for those who celebrate. Now, let's give due time to whom it really concerned after leaving the portals of this most venerable institution. Most especially now that we are in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, remember, no storm lasts forever. Let's be brave, have trust and faith in God that every storm is temporary. Maybe we do have different beliefs, but let's not miss the opportunity that might change our life simply because we don't know which footstep will bring a new twist in our life. Perhaps we have had enough already. I know for a fact that it is not manly for a man to break down and cry. But we should know that even the clouds rain too when things get so heavy. Finally, I urge humbly to each and every one of us to confide to the Lord for our future. Let us lift ourselves in prayer. Faith in God takes us out of pain. It counts us out of the storm. After graduation, let's continue the hard work, and our passion will take us there. Let us be humble and never think that we are better than anybody else. Bear in mind that it's more blessed to render service than to receive. Giving is the best thermometer of our love to others. For we should know that rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruits. The sun does not shine on itself. Flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. They all exist for benefit of others, no matter how difficult it is. Thank you and mabuhay. Congratulations, you all.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sir Robusa, for that speech, for that inspiring speech that you have talked to us. Okay, so sir, we have a question here. So by the way, sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, si Mr. Robusa He is a graduate of Aircraft Maintenance Technology, Associated Aircraft Maintenance Technology, and undergoes trainings. Underwent trainings, and we have here questions, sir. So first question is, why did you choose aircraft maintenance?
That's a hard question. First of all, ever since when I was young, that was my passion to to fix some stuff. And then it happened. One of my cousin, who is an aircraft mechanic, that how he encouraged me to do the same thing too.
Yeah, okay. So it's really your passion, sir. Right. So I think most of our viewers, they are most of them are aircraft mechanics. Actually, my students required I required them to watch the webinar for them to have some brief knowledge about aircraft mechanics, because like this is a once in a lifetime moment, with the seminar. Okay, we have another question here, sir. Are you able to work outside in extreme weather conditions if required?
Yes, actually, being a mechanic, it's even if the weather is cold, hot, or rain, we have to do our task. Especially right now, I was I was on program of the serving the U.S. Air Force, so we have to do the to meet the schedule. In order to meet the schedule, it's gonna be rain or shine, or hot or cold, whether it's inside the hangar or it's outside. As long as we do it safely, and of course, airworthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for answering that question. I think we have another question here. Sir Ariel, can you read it up for us? Okay, so here's the second question. I mean, the third question, sir. What is your aircraft maintenance specialty?
Say it again, please.
What is your aircraft maintenance specialty?
I'm special on structure, airframe for the entire most of my career on
Oh,
different aircrafts.
okay, sir. Can you tell us about how do you started working as an aircraft maintenance technicians, and what are those type of aircraft that you handle?
Well, I started as a general aviation mechanic, even on our school before, and then excuse me, sorry. Hello, am I
Yes,
still
sir.
there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and after that, there's an opportunity to go to Singapore. So we tried to apply there. At first, we did the training in Manila for basic structure mechanic, and then we applied anywhere. And then luckily, I was hired in Singapore back then, and keep applying for better opportunities. That's why I reached here in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, I see, sir. So, what are those type of aircraft that you handled, sir?
Before I handled Airbus 300, the 600, and then DC-8, and then Airbus 320, and then I moved to a 747 program, and then the 737, and then 757, and then 67 and 787. Actually, it varies on depending on the customer. That's how it goes.
Okay, sir. So I see that you handled lots of aircraft. So we have a question here, sir. So I think this is the fourth question. Sir Earl Rabusa, what have you done to improve your knowledge for structure mechanic position? And what do we see ourselves doing if ever we choose to be a structure mechanic like you in a couple of years? Let's say 5 to 10 years from now.
Well, first of all, um, structure mechanic is still um, it's gonna be like, as long as you read and understand the structure repair manual and the technical orders or something like engineering orders, and when you first go to the floor, I mean, you don't hesitate to ask for, especially if you get the critical job, make sure you measure twice or thrice and cut once. Especially, of course, you have to emphasize the safety as well, not only for you but also your coworkers.
Indeed, sir, safety is really a matter when we are dealing as a aircraft mechanic when we are on aviation. So not only aircraft mechanic, but all of the aviation personnel should look for their own safety because we are dealing with aircrafts. Safeties are always first priority. So another
Safe,
question. Yes, sir.
safety, and then quality as well, to give airworthy product.
Yes, sir. Okay, so sir, we have another question here. So it says here, what is the hardest maintenance task that you have handled, Sir Robusura?
Say it again.
What is the hardest maintenance task that you have handled, sir?
So far, every job is a challenge, but the most what I've encountered was a bird strike on a Airbus 300, the 600, on the nose. That the bird strike through the radome and went through the bulkhead, and literally we teared the entire nose section of the airplane and put it back together.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. Mr. Ariel, I think we still have some few questions.
Okay, sir. So I have a question for you, sir. No? Okay, so since that you are connected with the Boeing company, so it is difficult to take the FAA exam or FAA license, and what are the requirements that you need to comply?
As far as requirement wise, there is I'm not really current right now as far as the requirements, but they have the website. I can give you the updated info later on after this, the link. In that way, I had to be, but you have to pass the written first, and then after that the practical exam.
Okay, sir. It is just the same as
Yes, the same as
CAP.
the idea. I mean the cap right now.
Okay. So thank you, sir. So you see, you have.
Yes, I think I still have some questions here. So our students are really curious, sir. So here's another question. Good morning, sir. What is the specific part of an aircraft that is prone to corrosion? So based on your
That's the
experiences,
question. But most of the aircraft depending on where the aircraft flew, or I mean, if it's a, let's say if it's a passenger aircraft, usually in the wet areas of the uh, galley underneath, because of the whatever they spill around it. But it's everywhere. Corrosion is everywhere. That's why we have to control the mitigation of that.
okay, so thank you for that answer, sir. So it says he said that it's on the galley section, most of the corrosion because of the moisture, right, sir?
Yeah, and aside from that, I mean, there's some limits
Yeah.
on every yeah. Otherwise, if there's no limits, we can, if the part is not available to replace it, so we can always ask engineering, or engineering for repair.
Yes, sir. Ariel, I think we still have lots of questions left here.
Yes, sir. Okay, so there is a another question, sir. No, so do aircraft mechanics fly for free?
Depending on what company you're at, if you're mostly on airline, I think they do have the benefits for it. But if you're on an MRO or repair stations, I doubt if they gave you, depending on the company.
Okay, sir. So it's if that is if you are connected with airline industry, so I think
Yes.
they have privilege. But in
Yeah.
MRO, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. We still have lots of questions here because our students are really curious on how to be an aircraft mechanic, or the job of an aircraft mechanic. By the way, students, the FDSA will going to post the link for the registration for your certificate later. Okay, just wait for the link on our official live chat. Okay, sir, I think we still have question here. So it says here, Sir Erd, is there a
Yes, sir.
mistake you have done in your work and how do you handle it?
Say it again, please.
Is there a mistake that you have done in your work and how do you handle it? Or how did you handle it?
Yes, we're humans. We commit mistakes. I mean, we're not perfect. But if we make a mistake, you have to report it right away. In that way, we can uh, make some options on how to repair it. If, or worst case, we have to replace the new part, or submit to engineering again. If there's always a repair for it, but as much as we can, we have to be accurate on what we do. That's why what I've said earlier, we have to measure twice or thrice and cut once. It's not gonna hurt also if you ask your buddies or whoever you work with, your partner, to double check. At least there's another set of eyes that overlooking on, because sometimes you're tangled with, especially with pressure because of schedules, and then there's a lot of uh, areas that will get you from being how to say that one, uh distracted from your, instead of you're focusing on your job, you get distracted by something else. So you have to really focus on what you're doing and double check everything before you drill or cut whatever.
Okay, sir, thank you. That's true, focusedness. So I think being an aircraft mechanic by its choice, it's really hard, right? Because we are dealing with the safety of the passengers. It is not only one life that matters, it is lots of lives, right? So it's not only the aircraft, but also the safety of the people inside it. So focusedness is really a matter when we are doing some aircraft maintenance tasks. Yeah. Okay, sir. So I still have question here. So it says here, how was the experience being an aircraft mechanic of a well-known aircraft manufacturing company? Can you give us a glimpse of your experiences to inspire our students? I think this question came from one of the instructors of FDSA, sir.
Well, the experiences is this almost the same on every companies. The only thing that it's more bigger than the other companies, but it's almost the same as long as you respect each other and as be be professional. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much for that. Sir Ariel, you still have question?
Oh, yes, sir. So there is a question, sir, no? How many different specialties there for aircraft mechanic?
Actually, it varies on certain companies because mostly there's structures, there's APG, which is the general, and then there's avionics. Before my that's uh, the basic of the most common uh, specialties I can say on every every companies. But I mean, because right now in Boeing, there were like it's not only structures; it's like general. If you're handling your, if you're like assigned to the tail section, you have to do everything. Not only structure wise, you have to do the general side also, like hydraulics, also everything, depending on your uh which area you were assigned, you're on your assignment basically.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. So another question here. So student asks, sir, what kind of license should we need to acquire the same work as you, Sir Earl? Or what are the needed license for that kind of work?
Actually, license wise, they don't require most of the companies here. Although license, if you have the license, you have a plus on as far as salary wise though. But they even did training programs here, which is from fresh grad to give them opportunities to become a good mechanic.
Okay, sir. So there's no particular license that is needed. Is that right, sir? For your
Yes,
job?
yes, there is. As long as you get FAA license.
Okay,
If
FAA.
the rating is power plant or airframe, A and B. Same thing on our license there.
Yeah, the CAAP license, so it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the same thing. So when you get there in the US, you need to get another FAE license or FAE license for you to work on that kind of job, right?
No, you
Okay,
don't. You're not required. They evaluate our experiences, and as far as I know, they do uh, screen evaluate also how you perform your task, your job. That's the most important thing. And then actually license, yes, there's a if you get license, you can go like not a mechanic, you can go up for an inspector or something like that. That's a how to say the one. It's more, yeah, more money, to be honest.
Hi, sir. Noted, sir. So I think Sir Ariel has have questions here.
Okay, yes, sir. No? So there's a question here. So, sir, what visa did you apply for? Did the company offer you the job or did you voluntarily apply for it?
Actually, what happened to us was we were in Singapore before, and we heard that there's a company that's hiring over here in US. That's my previous company before, which is the ST San Antonio Aerospace. And I just went for an interview, and luckily I passed the interview. And then after that, they gave me a appointment to the US Embassy for the visa application. And luckily, I passed it too. So they gave me a visa. And after that, they, of course, depending on your performance, and they offered us they sponsor us the uh the green card, which is the uh how to say that one. Yeah, the green card.
Yeah, is it for me to go to the US for you to
the,
be a
the, the,
citizen?
the, the resident permit. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
sorry.
sure. Yeah. So we still have question here. So it says here, as an aircraft mechanic, sir, do we really need to have an experience for 3 to 5 years before working or applying to abroad?
Yeah, I suggest, because that's the minimum requirements they're trying to find. I mean, they're trying to look for as far as experience wise. And if you have the certificates, or as far as training wise, that's a better opportunity to get hired.
Okay, so it's really required to have experience from 3 to 5 years.
Experience and the training certificates also.
Yeah, it's really important to have not only experience, of course, but also some sort of trainings and seminars to attend to before you go to the US. I think that is a one of the primary requirements to gain aircraft mechanic job on other country, not particular to the US, but also for the other countries. Right,
Yeah,
sir?
if you get trainings, that's a plus.
Yeah. Sir, yeah, we still have questions. I think most of our students are really curious.
Okay, yes, sir. No. So here's the question, sir. So as an aircraft structure mechanic, so what are those aircraft structural repair techniques that you may advise for those students who pursue their career, or let's say special specialties in aircraft mechanic as aircraft structure uh, specialists?
Actually, there's a bunch of techniques, but as long as you follow the guidelines and the structure repair manuals, it's all there, and uh, you can't deviate from it. Especially the edge margin, all those rivet fits or fastener fits, whatever. Yeah, just follow the uh, structure repair manual.
Okay, sir. So what are those common uh, structural repair that you always encounter, sir, in your current work?
It varies on the every aircraft, but mostly on let's say a passenger aircraft, there's always a seat rack repairs, which is it's kind of big job. It's a major. It's part of a primary structure, and there's a lot of mostly corrosion repairs. You have to blend or remove the corrosion, treat it, prime it, and if it's out of limit, check the limits, and if it's out of limits, we have to repair it. It's if it falls on non-repairable areas, we have to replace the part, or if not, we can't replace the part. We can always go to engineering.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much. This is another question from our student. Sir, how many different specialties there for aircraft mechanic? Specialty, sir. Kind of work like on structure, what kind of specialty, what kind of job is it for the aircraft mechanic? Because being an aircraft mechanic, it's a versatile job, right? So we are on the part of structure and the part of power plant, and we do some sort of different types of work on those different types of specialities. So do you have any ideas what are those type of specialities, sir, of an aircraft mechanic?
Yes, the as far as we're talking about structures, there's a new technology right now, which is the composite part, especially the 787. So the airframe is composite and it's not aluminum anymore. So there's two. I can say there's two different, completely different uh, specialties as far as structure wise.
Okay, sir. So follow-up question. So aside from acquiring technical skills, what are the key ingredients in order to succeed in the field of aircraft maintenance?
As long as you perform your task the proper way, no shortcuts, especially if you're under pressure. Don't be lazy. Don't be don't follow whoever push you if it's not on the structure repair manual or on the engineering order or whatever your reference is. You need to follow whatever your reference is. No shortcuts. That's the safest way.
Yes, that's right, sir. There is no shortcuts. In every job, I think there is no shortcuts. Most
Yes.
especially here on aircraft mechanic, you need to undergo lots of training, seminars, experiences before you will be a successful aircraft mechanic. So you need to go to the hole of the needle before you will
Yeah.
become actually aircraft mechanic, based on your experiences also, sir. Right? So
Yeah.
by the way, some students, please wait for the link for the registration. It will be posted later on our live chat. Okay, going back to our Q&A segment, I think, Sir Ariel, you still have questions.
Okay, no. And by the way, Sir Yussi, we have 121 views and counting no sa Facebook Live natin. So please student no, just stay tuned because that is a requirement to get your e-certificates. Okay. So okay, Sir Earl. So there's another question here. Okay, sir, if I take the course aircraft mechanic, then I'm planning to proceed pilot course that it need license for aircraft mechanic course.
Um, where's that question? I'm trying to go to the to follow the on the on the screen too, as far as the live question and the comments.
I think Sir
Ca-
Ariel can
ca-
repeat the question.
Can you repeat the question again?
Sorry, sir. So, sir, if I take the course aircraft mechanic, then I'm planning to proceed pilot course. Does it need license for aircraft mechanic course?
Yes, of course. It's a pilot and mechanic are completely different things. So you need to have a license.
Okay, sir. So it must be, no? Because that will
Yes.
be your um, specialty that you have to license. Okay, so thank
Yes.
you so much, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
sir,
you
thank you
see, we
so much.
have another question, sir. You see.
Yeah, can you read it, sir? Ito na lang po. Okay, it says here, sir, do you perform B check? How many times a particular aircraft can perform B check before it retires?
Actually, depending on the owner, but most of the time, the older the aircraft, the the more intense of as far as the maintenance side. So it's up to the owner. That's how they do their evaluation of, do we need to keep this aircraft or it's time to retire. But most of the time they just put the plane on the desert just to have it uh, a backup for the other aircraft in case if they need parts. They use it as a, they can harvest the parts from, from that aircraft to the aircraft that's flying or something like that.
Yes, sir, you are correct. So actually, this is my lesson from my third year students about some maintenance check. So I already tackled that D check. So it happens every 6 years, right, sir? And we need three D checks before the aircraft retires. If I'm not mistaken, that is my lesson. And also, it's also up to the owner, right? If the
Yeah.
aircraft, yeah, if the aircraft turns really old, so it means, yeah, and if it undergoes three D checks, I think it needs to be phased out, right? So okay, so I think there's no questions left here, sir, but I have left question. So sir, what are your messages for all of the aspiring aircraft maintenance technicians, which is our students, Okay. Because we are in the middle of the pandemic. So I think most of my students are asking me, they have their moments of doubts because of their chosen courses because of in the middle of the pandemic, because there are lots of news that aviation industry is really on its down point right now because of the pandemic. So any kind of message, inspirational message for all of those students who have their moments of doubts for their chosen courses.
Yeah, I mean, don't lose hope because on in fact over here the aviation goes started to goes up again. Um, as far as I've noticed, the flights is going back again, and it's the airport is getting busier every day, and meaning to say they've been flying airplanes, meaning we have work.
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
aviation
don't lose
members
hope.
up. Yeah. So still continue their studies, no? So I think, sir, we still have question here. So may mga pahabol na questions, Sir Ariel. Can you read those questions?
Okay, sir. So, another question. So, hello, sir. What structural repair manual is easier to use for you, Airbus or Boeing? So, based on experience, but for your experience, sir.
For my experience, it's just the same as long as you understand the manual. It's this is the only thing that um most of the Airbus doesn't really have limits as far as compared to Boeing. But I mean, it's the same. Just don't be no shortcuts. That's all I can say. Follow follow the manual.
Okay, sir. So, another question, sir. What are, oh, how much the cost of structural training course?
Structural training course. I don't really have an idea, to be honest, because most of the trainings that I have attended was it's all company expenses. The company uh, send us to school for that specific rating.
Okay, sir. So, mostly your trainings, no, from the company, provided by the company itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So, another question, sir. Um, how much does the salary of the aircraft structural mechanic, since that Boeing is a prestige and well-known company?
um, it varies on your experiences. Yeah, that's all I can say. The more experience and the more trainings you get, you can bargain on how much you want your you have to sell yourself. You have to bargain your salary. I mean, you know, you can't just like this is your offer. For example, the company will hire you, but this is your offer. If you're not happy with it, why accept it? So you have to bargain yourself too. You have to prove it too.
Okay, sir. So, any how many digits, sir?
And,
Students, no, you hear that. So, um, pursue your career, no, in aircraft mechanic.
well, it's more than enough to than the uh how to say, the minimum wage here, it's doubled or tripled depending on your experience. I can't really say, but it's compared to, it's not like just a minimum pay over here. Did I satisfy the question?
Okay, sir. So, okay, sir. Thank you. So I hope that our student, no, they have the idea. Ganito pala. Wow. So the salary that you earn is different, no, from different naman talaga here in the Philippines compared to the um, US. So as what you said, no, the more you earn experiences, no, the more, or
You
say,
can demand.
yes, yes. So thank you for that, sir. Thank you.
But I mean, of course, we had to start from the bottom. So, konting tiyaga, tiyaga lang, aabot din kayo. Or malalampasan niyo pa ako. As long as, one thing, huwag lalaki yung ulo. Consider yourself every day is a learning in progress.
Yes, sir. That's true. So stay humble. No?
Yes, of course.
Yes. So you heard that, students, no? So if you have in that position, no, stay humble as usual. Because if um you start from the beginning, no, then you earn that thing, but still you have to be humble with others. You know, if you have something to share, especially in your work job, okay. So don't forget where you came from. You know.
Yes.
So thank you
Because
so much.
what I've experienced is, it's not Filipinos though, but I've ex- I've experienced the, especially locals here. I trained them, and then after I trained them, and their heads, their head is big already. Like, uh, sa Tagalog, sobrang yabang. Sa Bisaya, hambugiro. Which is, I mean, it's still good as long as you perform your job. But I mean, be humble and always be respectful.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true,
So
sir.
yes, thank you so
Actually,
much.
I'm also telling that to my students. Attitude is really a must. Good attitude is really a must when you're working in aviation, because you never know that if you meet someone, or if you bully your classmate, aircraft mechanic classmate, you never know, for the next years, maybe he or she is your workmate, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
everywhere you go, sometimes, yeah, I'm here, but maybe tomorrow you'll be my partner at work.
yeah, that's right. That's what I'm telling my students. Attitude before altitude, I'm telling them. Because
Yeah.
even if you
And
have that knowledge, if don't have that if you have that bad attitude towards your work, it will
it's,
really,
yeah, it starts with you, for yourself also. It start self-discipline, and then that, it's how, uh from yourself, if you get a good attitude, that's how you work also, you know. It's not like, uh yeah, that's the main thing. Be humble.
yeah, sure. So, oh my, I still have questions here. So it says here, sir, so I think, sorry for those questions, but I think students are really curious about this one. What are the differences of a line mechanic from a base mechanic, and which of two do you think has a lighter load?
Well, what I've noticed, line mechanic is it has a lighter load, but sometimes also they have uh, they're gonna be busy also, and because they have to catch up the schedule. But most of the time, if there's nothing wrong with the airplane, so it's a lighter work for them. And on the base as well, most of the time it's the same. I can say it's the same as long as I can't really say if it's there's a lighter load depending on the situation.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. So it really depends on the situation. But I think heavy and base and maintenance and line maintenance is being an aircraft mechanic on that part is really hard, right? I sir,
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge the presence of our dear president, Engineer Juanito M. De La Cruz. I think he wants to talk to you later, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he wants to talk to you later. So let's wait for him for a while. So yeah, I'm looking for other questions here. Okay. So, sir, we have another question. Says here, sir, how many years should we need to be a fully aircraft mechanic? How many years of experiences should they need to be an aircraft mechanic?
All I can say is it's up to you. If you excel yourself, the better. And just grab as many experiences as you have. I mean, as if you can, in that way, that's a plus when you applied for a bigger opportunities or something like that. And grab some if there's an opportunities for training as well. Might as well grab it. That's a plus if you're trying to apply for something else.
Yeah, I think so, sir. So if there is an opportunity, aviation job, no matter how small it is, if you look at it. So take the job, right? Take the job, even though it's small, but still, it's on the aviation. So maybe
Yes,
on the further years, you will become an successful aircraft mechanic, starting from the bottom now to be an
of course.
aircraft mechanic.
It's even if it's a simple one, if they task you to do cleaning, do it. That's how to discipline yourself as well. And even if it's just like a minor job, don't be like, it's an easy money minor job only. No, take it seriously. Job is a job. Work is a work. But most of the time, I've noticed if even if small job, they do shortcuts. Even if a single job, minor part, still follow the manuals. No shortcuts.
Yeah. So yes, there's no shortcut to success. So we need to all pro for the success, right?
Yes, no shortcuts. Just to provide an airworthy and good quality aircraft.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for answering that question. So, Sir Ariel, do you still have questions left?
Sir, parang wala na po.
Okay, so I think
Ano?
we can now proceed to the awarding of certificate to Sir Earl. Sir Earl, thank you so much for giving us the time and for sharing your knowledge and experiences for this kind of webinar. I think most of our aircraft mechanics students have learned from you. So I think we can now proceed with the awarding of certificate, Sir Ariel.
Um, First of all, I mean, I would like to apologize. I'm supposed to give something a video or something, a presentation, but I'm sorry because most of the context I get were all confidential and it's proprietary and I don't have permits for it, so I can't share it with you all. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Yeah, sir, that's okay. I think we do understand your situation there. So I think without further ado, we can award the certificate of appreciation to Sir Earl Rabus. Hi, Sir Ariel.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So it's my honor to present this certificate of appreciation. So FDSA Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation. This certificate is presented to Earl Epiphany Ribusura for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during webinar on topic Navigating the Journey to Success in the Face of Pandemic. Given this 26th day of May 2021 at FDSA Aviation College of Science and Technology Incorporation, signed by Ms. Itabel G. Malonzo, MIT MBA, Head of Academic Affairs, and Engineer Juanito M. de la Cruz, President and CEO. So thank you so much, Sir Earl, for your
Thank you very much.
time and sharing your thoughts and idea and experiences to us.
Yes, sir, thank you so much, Sir Earl Rabusura. Thank you for that informative and inspiring talk. I hope hopefully our aspiring aircraft maintenance technician out there learned something from Sir Earl. So I think that will cover up our webinar for today. Thank you so much, Sir Earl Busura. So our professional aircraft mechanic based on the US.
Thank you very much also.
Thank you, sir, for your
Congratulations, graduates.
yes, congratulations, graduates, FDSA graduates. So I think that will cover up our webinar series for today. So, Sir Ariel, do you have anything to say?
Okay, again, sir, thank you so much for your time and effort in sharing your ideas, your experiences. And on behalf of FDSA Cebu, uh, to our school president, Engineer Juanito M. de la Cruz, and to the staff of FDSA Cebu, thank you so much. And Ma'am Rose extend her regards to you. No?
Hi to Ma'am
So,
Rose too.
yes po.
Hi to faculty.
Mm-mm. So, uh, again, thank you so much, and to all the students participated in this webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
students, and thank you for streaming with us for this 2 days webinar with a team navigating the journey to success in the face of pandemic. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all for the next webinar series in the near future. Thank you so much, and have a great lunch, everyone.
Cheers to students.